Boy Bye by Dana Elizabeth, Part 1. Girl, if you're anything like me, when you're done, you are done. Stick a fork in me. That's how done I am. Done with these men, the nonsense, manipulation, lying, and controlling ways. Don't get it twisted. I'm not here to bash men or even make them look low in standard for that matter. I'm just venting about my life. We all got shit. Don't even act like you're perfect or like your shit doesn't stink, like Outkast once said. I know you think your shit don't stink, but lean a little bit closer, see? Roses really smell like poo-poo. I realized that in order to fix my life, I had to fix myself first. And it's not about a man, job, or money. It's deeper than that. It starts with mental health and happiness that only one can provide for themselves. Kiki pressed in on her recording. These notes that she made to herself daily were motivation and a form of therapy that she used just to create a mental note of her progress and how she was feeling about life and dating. Auntie, you should pull up and cook your niece some breakfast was the text I sent to my Aunt Rainbow. She replied, "What do you want?" "I'm ordering on the Yummy app." I didn't feel like typing out my order, so I called her. "Hi, Auntie. Let me get a pancake platter with pork roll. I want hash browns on the side and get my eggs over easy, please." She smacked her teeth and replied, "Let me tell them to put our orders in separate bags because I don't want no pork near my food." I laughed and told her to do whatever she needed to do. "Girl, let me take a quick shower and I'll be over there. If the food comes before I get there, just put mine in the microwave, Kiara." "Okay, see you soon," I replied. Let me just tell you straight up. No matter where I go in life, I am a New Jersey girl to the core. I still listen to Boy Righteous Teacher and Whitney Houston, and I absolutely love house music. I like cheesesteaks from the corner store, and whatever city I am in, I ask the deli if they serve Taylor's pork roll. I didn't grow up with no silver spoon. I was born July 4th, 1998, so every year my birthday was lit, literally. I was raised by my father who worked 2 jobs, so I rarely saw him, but he made sure I never missed a meal and the light bill was always paid. Being an only child was cool, but boring at times. I did, however, have a gang of cousins who treated me more like one of their siblings than an actual cousin, and they were predominantly male, so let's just say I am not the typical girl who played with Barbie dolls. I lit firecrackers, I played in dirt, but like I was saying, my dad was never home, so I learned my way around the house at a young age. I have cooked and cleaned since I was 9. I didn't know where my mother was, and honestly, my father never mentioned her. He told me when I was old enough to understand that she had something called postpartum depression when I was born. He said at the hospital, the nurse attempted to place me in her hands, and she responded by turning her back and sobbing, and she never bonded with me since that moment. I really have little communication with her side of the family. Also, she really became a mystery to me. I heard so many different stories over the years about how she was a wanderer or a free spirit that just jumped up one day and began traveling around the world. I once got a postcard from her when I was about 12. It was stamped from London. When I was 16, I went to London with my high school, and of course, I went to the location from the postcard, but she was no longer there. There was an older lady that greeted me at the house, and she told me that she knew my mother. In fact, she stared at me with eyes as if she knew me from somewhere, but she was just seeing the resemblance between my mother and I. My aunt always says I am my mother's twin, as well as I see it too when I look at her old pictures. At this point in my life, I really don't trip off of her, though. My dad always reminded me that you cannot miss what you never had. So I never learned to miss her. But it would be nice to know if she was still alive, or even if she was in the United States for that matter. Oh, but trust me, I know all about the female stuff because of my Aunt Rainbow. I will never forget when I was 9 years old and I was playing in the park on the seesaw. When I stood up to get off, I saw blood seeping through my pants, and I screamed so loud and ran in the house to tell her. My aunt picked me up and she was laughing uncontrollably. And then she said, "Congratulations, welcome to womanhood." She explained that the blood was coming through my clothes because I had started my menstrual cycle. She was so sweet. She just gave me a bath, some new clothes, and taught me how to use a maxi pad. Aunt Rainbow has been teaching me any and everything to do with women, and I truly love her. She's more like my best friend. We lived in the house that was owned by my grandparents, who willed the house to my dad and Rainbow when they died, and they continued the tradition by willing the house to me. Our home was nothing fancy, but it was ours. We lived in a small town on a block where everyone knew everyone. And as a child, if you got caught doing something other than what you were supposed to be doing, you got popped or yelled at. I always felt like I caught it more than others because of all those neighborhood hags knew I didn't have no mama. It was plenty of mornings I saw a few of them creeping down our steps and out the back door after spending time with my daddy too. I guess they thought they were his girlfriend and they had to watch me or something. Although daddy never claimed not one of them. I can't front though. I enjoyed my childhood and I wouldn't change it for the world. Some days I wish I could rewind time and go back, especially to my 13th birthday when I got my first kissing friend. His name was Jacob, and I think I still love him to this day. It was totally puppy love, but he was older than me, and I liked everything about him. He literally spent my birthday with me every year from the time we were 5 until I graduated high school. Time goes by fast, and as we grow, we also grow apart. And that's what happened between us. We used to talk and see each other a lot. Then one day he just disappeared. Life is like that, though. I always think about him when my birthday is approaching, too. My birthday is next month in July. This year will be rough, though, because my father died last year, 2 days before my birthday. That was the worst gift I ever received in my life so far. His face is splattered all over my screensavers, and I have pictures throughout the house, so I get to see his handsome face every day. Some days he actually comes to visit me in a spiritual form, though. Like last week, I woke up out of my sleep at about 4 a.m. in the morning because I could smell his cologne clear as day. He wore Izumiyaki. That is such a distinct smell, so I knew he was there. When he visits me like that, I never feel fearful. I just say, "Hi, Pops," to let him know I feel his presence. I truly look forward to those moments, and it makes me aware that God has given me a gift and a message on those days. I am still processing what all the spiritual stuff means. My aunt said I'm just weird and I miss my dad. According to her, people only see spirits and ghosts in movies. As I was finishing my shower, I heard a voice belting out my name from downstairs in my house. I quickly recognized my aunt's voice. "Kiara, why did you let the food just sit on the damn porch?" I honestly didn't even know the food had arrived. And besides, she ordered it, so she was the one tracking the order, not me. "Well, duh, you must have checked the option for them to leave the food at the door because nobody even rang the bell," I said, as I grabbed my pancake platter that was still warm. We went into the kitchen to eat our breakfast. This was a typical day for us since my father died. She usually just comes over while I'm asleep and cooks. I can tell she just wants to be close with me so that I don't get lonely, and I love her for that. I always ask her just to move back in. She moved out years ago when she turned 26. She's 36 now. She always gives me the same answer, which is no. Aunt Rainbow always said that her grandmother taught her that you are not supposed to live in a house with another woman and your man. I told her, first of all, that is so crazy to say to me because we are family and I'm 20. I don't want none of those old slick sugar daddies that she typically dates. She said that I better take heed and to do the same when my skinny ass got a man. She is so crazy, but I guess she has a point. I just haven't figured it out yet. Sometimes I question, is it me she doesn't trust or her man? I never expounded on the subject, though, because Aunt Rainbow is not the one to question. If she says something, it's for a reason.